Hello, everybody. It's Mrs. Cook, and I'm not in the library, and I sure do miss it. But most of all, I miss all of you. And so hopefully we can have some time right now together and read a story. So since we're starting this out, I thought maybe we should start with something that's a little more familiar, like one of the first books that I got to read to all of you, which is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. It was written by John Cisa and illustrated by Lane Smith. Are we ready? Let's go on an adventure. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf. Alexander T. Wolf, that is. But you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. I mean, if cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I said, this whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny, and I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. Oh no. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, poof, it fell right in. Now, I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called out, little pig, are you in? No answer. Now I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. And that's when my nose started to itch. And, well, I felt a sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed. Whew, a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate him up. Think of it like a big cheeseburger just lying there. Now I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. Now this neighbor was the first little pig's brother, and he was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. So I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in? And you know what? He yelled back, go away, Wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth. Achoo! But I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe this, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. wolf's honor. Now you know how food will spoil if you leave it out? Well, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. Now this guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. And he must have been the brains in the family because he built his house out of bricks. So I knocked on that brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig! Mr. Pig! Are you in?" And you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup from my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. Oh, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and achoo! I sneezed once again. And you know what that third little pig yelled? He said, "And your granny can sit on a pin." Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. And when the cops drove up, of course, it looked like I was trying to break down the pig's door. And the whole time, all I was doing was huffing and puffing, achoo! And sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound that very exciting. So they jazzed it up with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me into the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. All right. Thanks so much for listening, boys and girls. We'll see you again soon.